Yo, what's good, Spirit Squad? So, this is Dre, and today what we're doing is starting a video series called Spirit Snapshot, in which we explore ways to go ahead and improve our matchups versus each of the individual decks that are popular in the modern metagame. And these are going to apply to both blue, white, and banned spirits. So, we'll see a bunch of obviously blue and white options, and when there is a great applicable green card, we'll talk about those as well. So, what we're doing today is exploring our matchup against Tron. And Tron, whether it's a good or a bad matchup, or whether you think the deck's good, it is a matchup that will come up all the time. So it's one that we should be prepared for. As of right now, on January 5th, it's not exactly the metagame's most prevalent threat online, but if you are managing to play Magic IRL right now, it probably shows up a lot in your local FNMs or wherever you're playing. And honestly, even if it's not like the biggest threat in like a modern challenge, you'll still see it in 5-match leagues all the time. So we should probably go over this matchup. And this may or may not be like a necessarily popular opinion, but I actually believe the Tron matchup is actually pretty good for us. So, or at least it's even, because each of their individual cards happens to be really powerful, but we have a lot of play against Tron. Like, think about it. As a blue deck, we get to counter a lot of Tron's main threats, and we have access to quite a few really good polarizing sideboard cards. Like, we get Damping Sphere, Ceremonious Rejection, and even less focused sideboard cards like, say, Force of Negation or Unified Will. On our end, we have a lot of really, really great tools to use too. So like we've got Skyclave Apparition to help take care of Little Karn and Oblivion Stone. We have Spell Queller to help slow them down. We have Selfless Spirit to help counter their Oblivion Stone. And Rattle Chains solves the problem of like both Big Karn's -3, and it just is a flash threat that allows us to hold up counterspell mana while actually giving us time to deploy our threats as well. So the flash is a really big deal in this matchup. And on Tron's end, as we know, their key cards are going to be Oblivion Stone to try to wipe out our creatures as we try to kill them, Baby Karn, and that has access to getting like Ensnaring Bridge and Walking Ballista, Ugin, which honestly, that one, it's either counter or bust. Sometimes we can get away with beating and resolved Ugin with just the flash mechanic, but honestly, that card usually just means scoop. And then, of course, the 10-drop Ulamog, which is a pretty big problem, but that's also one that we're going to be able to help solve. So what we're going to do here is just go into a quick sample match, and we'll see actually how all of our cards interact with their cards. And we'll see that even though they have really great, powerful tools, we can still actually come out ahead of this matchup. Check this out. So here, we did win a die roll, though, so that's pretty sweet. So we're going to go into this game 1, and here we're going to mulligan to 6, and our 6 is going to contain 2 lands, a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop, and an Aether Vial, right? So while this is a good curve, this isn't necessarily anything that's like, oh my god, this is amazing, or like blows them out of the water or anything like that. It just is a above average draw for what is a mulligan. So let's go here. And we're going to go ahead, jam our island, jam our Aether Vial, right? And they're going to go ahead and play their Tron land, play their rock. Okay, whatever, we don't care about that, right? So here we're just going to go ahead, develop our 3rd land, and that's going to guarantee that we get this apparition off, which is super nice. So now we have a great 2-drop to start establishing a clock. We have a 1-drop to play off of this vial. We have the 3rd mana for this apparition in case we care about something. Life is good, right? So they're going to go ahead, pop their rock, Ancient Stirrings, whatever, fine. They get an Oblivion Stone. So we do need to be careful about an Oblivion Stone coming in soon. So here we've got a lovely clock. What's going on with our draw step? Ooh, it's a Spell Queller. So that's actually really nice because we know they drew an Oblivion Stone. So that's actually going to work out pretty well for us. Okay, so they have a Karn. So we're not going to let them resolve a Karn, though, because, well, Karn's freaking terrifying. And here they are going to take the opportunity to resolve that Oblivion Stone, but we know, ooh, that's nice, we already have the apparition to take care of that, and we have a Drogskull Captain to help make sure that, like, you know, a big Karn, for example, can't tick down and kill either of these 2 threats here. So what do they got going on? Okay, well, there's the Karn we talked about. And now they're going to go ahead and just get a regular forest. Maybe they're on a Thragtusk list, whatever. But either way, our job is to try to help get rid of them. And since this is only 2, 4, 6, 7 damage, we should actually kill Karn here because we can't kill them this turn. So we're going to go ahead and direct 3 damage to the Karn, the other 4 to them. They go to 5. And here, we're going to go ahead and get something bad happens to us. In Ulamog, okay. So Ulamog specifically isn't bad for them because they get to get rid of both of the 2 cards that have their cards on lockdown. But they are at 5, so they still need to be really careful about their life total. Like, they can't cast like a Dismember or anything else. They do get a Walking Ballista with this Karn, but check this out. We had a whole 7 more of these Supreme Phantom / Skull Captain draws that were live to us because we saw 1, so there's normally 8 in a deck. But we had 7 more available to us. And we drew one of our 7 cards to just kill them right on the spot. So now they're just going to go ahead and take 5. And this is kind of what I mean by we can play around all of their good stuff, right? So, like, they saw the Karn. We had the Spell Queller for it. They saw an Oblivion Stone. We got the Skyclave Apparition in. They saw the Ulamog. And even though Ulamog got to take 2 good cards, our clock was already established, and we had outs to draw a Lord to finish killing them, right? Like, they had their Tron lands. Everything worked out just fine for them. And the only real thing that went right for us is the fact that we won the die roll there. Like, yes, we got good interactive cards, but that's our whole deck. So a lot of the times, as long as we can make sure that our threats line up with what they're actually doing, this is a really, really salvageable matchup a lot of the time. And that's not even including the fact that we have some really good sideboard cards. So, like, we have access to, like, Damping Sphere, Ceremonious Rejection. We already talked about cards like Unified Will and Force Negation. And for specifically Bant Spirits, those pilots get Collected Roof out of green as well. So there's just a lot of very good stuff to be able to do to help solve this matchup a lot of the time. And this is why I think it is at least even, if not a little better than even. So maybe, you'll get to see some of these cards line up for you as well in your matchups against Tron. And that's going to be our Spirit Snapshots for today. Just really short and sweet, kind of to the point. This is a thing that we can do to help solve this matchup. And we're going to do a new one of these probably once a week. I'll figure out a schedule as we go along until we actually, help solve all of the matchups available to Modern. And there's quite a bit, as you already know. So, as always, if you do like what you're watching, just make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all on the next one.